Hello everyone, welcome to week 1 of Music Production Strategies. Today we're going to be talking about the first 3 songs, and in an effort to have an underlying theme, or at least a title to the slides, I'm going to be calling this week The Power of Song. So before we get started, I just want to have a quick recap of what we did in the Getting Started video. So as you know, listening is key. As you go through this course, I want you to actually just get sick of these songs if you can. I want you to know them inside and out so well and know every instrumental layer and every word, every melody. You listen as you read the reports to gain more information about the background of the song. You listen as you watch the arrangement graphics to see how the layers of arrangements are set up. You listen to it in the gym, on the road, in the shower, etc. And as you listen, here's what you should be listening for. You should be listening to the song structure, the chords, the tempo, the time signature, and how they affect the way you perceive the song and how the song affects you. You should listen to the instrument and arrangement choices and how they influence the song as well. For instance, a keyboard choice as a main instrument is going to result in a completely different song than if you had an acoustic guitar. We'll be going into this later, but as a tease preview, Bridge Over Troubled Water was originally written on acoustic guitar, but is actually arranged for piano, which makes it a completely different song. And then lastly, production and engineering choices, how you lay your sounds, how you choose the way the song sounds. Obviously, certain eras have certain sounds. It's not like they made a decision to make it sound 70s, it was the 70s. But what you can do today is you can take a lot of those things that were done back then and kind of incorporate that into your productions if you want it to sound more 70s or 80s or 90s. And lastly, have fun with it. It's music after all, and you should be enjoying it. Even if you don't like the genre or don't necessarily like the song, try to at least extract some value that you can use in your productions. So here's what we will be looking at today. Carole King's It's Too Late, Al Green's How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, which is actually a Bee Gees song, but we'll get to that later, and Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And then, of course, I'm assuming that you've listened to the songs, read the reports, and looked at the arrangement graphics. I can't stress this enough. It's not enough to just watch these videos. These are the highlights. There's a lot more information on the site that you can use. All right, let's jump in. So It's Too Late, Carole King. From the Essential Carole King, I took it off Spotify, but it's from Tapestry, I think. In the reports, you'll have what album the song is from, who produced it, how long it is, and all these little information tidbits. So simple song structure. It's a verse, chorus, and then a C section, which is just a solo section, really. And then it ends with another verse, chorus. It has a couple long solo parts as well. And like I said, simple song, but it has complex elements. It's not just a simple 4-piece guitar, drums, vocals, bass here. There's congas in the verses. There are piano chord stabs with the lead guitar accenting those piano riffs. There's a full drum kit that comes in the chorus. And then there's the back of vocals that weave in and out. And one of the things that I think is really cool here is the minor verse to major chorus jump in key that makes the song jump and lifts it up to a new level. It's a great way, if you can get away with it and kind of figure out the chordal structures, to lift the mood of a song or add interest to the chord structure. So how it works here is it's in A minor, and then the end of the verse goes down from A minor to G to F major 7th, and F major 7th is actually the dominant of B or B flat. So you can actually go from an F major 7th into a B flat, so that completely twists that around and makes that chorus a major key song, and then it goes back. So I'm not an expert in music theory or chord progression, but I can kind of fiddle around with it, and I kind of understand a little bit of that theory. But another great song that does a similar thing is While My Guitar Gently Weeps by George Harrison, which does the same thing, is in A minor, and then how it closes off the verse, chords that close off the verse, enable it to jump into an A major chorus. So lifting up the song to a different dimension, different feel. So really cool if you can figure out a way to structure your chord progression to lift it up like that. If you look at the arrangement side of it, in this song we have these little fills of vocals and guitar licks that add interest to the white spaces of the arrangement. You have that little piano guitar lick, and then you have just the normal voice that has the meaning and the lyrics of the song. But you always have little snippets going on in the background that kind of add and weave in and out to kind of add this musical interest so that it's not just a simple song. So adding these tiny little fills and frills can really make an arrangement pop. And overall, the song works because of its great chord progression. Like I said, the minor major key jump is a really cool thing. The melody is nice. Carole King is an awesome singer. She's an amazing songwriter. And that instrumentation that weaves in and out of the vocal spaces really ties the whole thing together. Next up is How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, performed by Al Green, but actually is originally by the Bee Gees. So I like this song better. I like this version better. Sometimes the cover is better, so sorry about that, Bee Gees. If you're a huge Bee Gees fan, that's cool. I like the Bee Gees too. Don't hate me for that. But there's something about the soulfulness of this performance that really does it for me. Al Green just has this really great performance of soulfulness, this melancholy that really seals the deal for me. Here's when we get into this difference in time signature and how a time signature can actually influence the way you perceive and feel a song. The 6/8 time signature makes it a somber waltz of sorts. Instead of doing the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the kind of a block of time, it kind of flows better in this 6/8. And then on top of that, the chord progression is sort of a minor key blues, I guess you can say, but because it has that minor second chord, it helps the melody feel more melancholic, or at least that's what I'm getting out of it. Because of the 6/8 time signature, that arpeggiated guitar is really perfect in that song. It kind of helps it flow. The beat never really starts and stops like you would maybe have in a 4/4 time signature. And that guitar still makes the whole song harmonically anchored because it's playing the chords of the song. Another big highlight that I really like is the string section. So the strings play a big part in adding contrast, dynamics, and a call and response to the song. Listen how the strings back off in the verses and then they come in and big in the choruses. They play a big role leading into the choruses as well. So using strings or synths or keyboards or anything like that, that's sort of a secondary instrument, using that to create contrast and impact into a certain bigger part like a chorus is a really effective way to make a song sound bigger. And then finally, it's all about the performance. It doesn't matter how much gear you have, how expensive your microphone and all of that jazz. Doesn't matter if you can't get a good performance. And in this song, you have this really soulful, great vocal performance. Really what you should be trying to get from any singer. Of course, you shouldn't be getting a soulful, somber performance from every singer. You should try to get what's right for the song. Obviously, a lot of different ways to do that. You can create a nice environment where they feel comfortable and safe to give you a great performance. Or if you're doing a song that's angry and mad and the singer needs to be super angry at the microphone, you could be inclined to be a little annoying to him so he gets mad. Or you can remind him or her of a situation that makes them really mad so they can channel that energy into the performance. So a great performance is really the takeaway from this song and what you should be striving towards in all of your recording sessions from all your players. Last song today is Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So one of the cool things here are the chord accidentals. Like I was talking about before, both of those songs had chords that gave a specific feel or a vibe to the songs. In Carole King's song, you have the major key jump that goes from one chord into another key. And then in Al Green's song, you have the minor second chord that kind of creates a melancholy feel. But here, Elton John actually kind of breaks the chord progression rules by inserting a chord that doesn't belong in the key, but he does it in a way that works with the chord progression as a whole. So breaking the rules is a great way to create something unique if you can write something that fits together that also works with the melody. So what I thought was very interesting on the structure is that it's an ABCBA structure. So it's a verse and then it's a bridge, chorus, bridge, verse. I really thought it was interesting because I didn't really think of it that way. Because normally you think of the chorus being the loudest part of the song. You're like, well, it all has to lead up to the chorus and that has to be big, right? But here, the bridge is actually the biggest part of the song, and then it dips into this arrangement valley in the chorus, and then it blows back up with all the vocals and all that stuff that connects the chorus to the verse. So it's an interesting inverse arrangement of the song. So sound-wise, Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road has a very natural, vintage sound. Obviously, it was recorded way back then, but the drums sound almost a little distorted. But here's the thing, it's not enough to take away from the sound or the performance. So if you listen to the song, you might listen to some of the tom fills, and I don't know if it's just the toms or if it's distorting the preamps or what it is, but they sound just a tad too distorted for me. But it might also have to do with the MP3 conversion, the Spotify conversion, and all that. So, however, those distortions don't really matter to me because it's a great song, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't take away from the performance. And that's what it's all about. Not just for Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, but for any song in these analyses, like I've said before, but also in your productions. A great performance will outweigh technical issues every day. And that takes us to the action step of this week. Find a song that has a great performance, and you can't cheat and use the ones that we're using here, but find a song that has a great performance but noticeable recording flaws. And then ask yourself, does the flaw take away from the recording? Do you get used to it and then just hear it and it doesn't matter? Or do you ignore it and completely forget about it after listening a few times? And if you weren't listening intently, would it even matter? So why I realize that there's distortion in those toms is because I've been listening to that song forever, over and over and over again. And I don't think on the first try or at the first listen I was actually hearing those distortions. But when I started zeroing in on the drums, taking one pass through, just listening to the drums or just listening to this or that, I started noticing these little imperfections. But that's what recording's all about. It's okay to have little imperfections as long as the song is delivered as a whole. So that's it for this week. Take a listen to the songs again, see if you can find something new that caught your attention, and find a song that has a great performance but noticeable recording flaws, and ask yourself, does it even matter? So I'll see you in the next video.